Alright, today we're going to attempt to do this Leatherpro install. I've been wanting these bags for years, but they're definitely pricey, and I just didn't know what was going to work for our turn signal relocation. You can see that the bags are going to go right over. So these have to get moved. I just never knew. I couldn't find anything. A lot of guys run them without turn signals. Or maybe built into the taillight, but I want something that's still going to be passing inspection, and I don't want something I'm going to have to kind of take on and off every year. So hopefully we can figure something out. I got a turn signal relocation kit, J&P Cycles. We're going to see if that works. Some wire for extension, and it comes with the rest of the stuff that's supposed to come to mount it. So don't know exactly how it's going to go, but we'll see what happens. First thing I'm going to do is just take the rear wheel off so that I can have access to take these off and kind of rerun some wire. Get access to under the side cover where the harness is for the turn signals. And we'll pop off the license plate bracket because the new turn signal bracket's going to mount right with this bracket here. Alright, so I'm going to get that rear wheel off and we'll get going. Okay, so we get the rear wheel off to get some access under the fender, side cover, and battery out. So you can see this harness here. That's going to have the all these rear controls here, turn signals, tail light. So we can push this through to the inside. And one of the pins already came out here. This is the right. You can push these pins in and pull it out. I got new pins anyways, but they run under the fender on either side. And this one's got both the tail light and the left. So now we'll take off the bracket. We'll probably have to drill a hole. The kit comes with a little grommet, which I assume is for that. There's not really any instructions, but we'll find a spot for it to fish our two wires through, run them back, get them back into this connector. Alright, so this is the idea. It's gonna get it out of the way for the bags. I had to kind of bend this metal to get it to fit in there, and then you could bend it back afterwards. And then this is all hollowed out so you can run your wires right through it, your cables. And we'll have to put a hole on either one of those sides, and we'll just run them through together back under the fender. And so I'm going to take off these now. Hopefully these turn signals are the same thread pitch. We'll see. Hopefully reuse them. So it worked out that the turn signal is the same thread as the new turn signal bracket, the 516/24. So this will just slide through. We'll have the wires come out in here. I think I'll have them both come out on the same side. And then I think I'm going to run them both on the right side here, go under, and then back up over the fender and where the battery is. How the right hand one was originally run, and I'm just gonna run them both, and I'll put them both in the sheathing underneath. I think it's gonna be kind of tricky to get this thing tightened on there, so I ended up just getting some lock nuts too. So I'll thread these on after I thread on the turn signals. I'll thread these on just to be able to secure it so it's not loose and dangling around. But I'm gonna run the cables now, drill the hole, and hopefully get everything kind of squared away. I'm gonna need to extend them, I'm sure. So if you look at the actual wiring diagram, the left rear turn signal, they're both gray wires, but the left has a violet tag and the right has a brown tag on it. So whatever I end up needing to extend it, I'm just gonna use the violet wire for that left and the brown wire for the right, just to keep it kind of consistent. Pretty much finished with the turn signal install. Got the bracket on there, all the wires are routed, the hole kind of right underneath it, trying to make it a little bit more discreet. Ran both the right and the left hand side through this one slot. Ended up drilling it through, worked my way up from a smaller drill bit to up to a 5/16. Inside here, I did put a lock nut inside the bracket just because it was kind of tough to line it up and have it tight at that same point. So having this lock nut allowed me to get it pretty close and then just kind of snug it up and make it solid. Another thing is they give you this rubber in the kit, and like I said, there's no instructions, but it looks like it would maybe go underneath the bracket. With these turn signals, they're kind of self-grounded, so everything gets grounded through the metal of the turn signal itself to the bracket, to the license plate, to the fender, to the frame, to the battery. So if you put that rubber there, I assume it's not going to even work. Just a note for that. And then I have the wires routed inside. Coming through there, it has the cables in another sheathing there, and then it goes into a larger sheathing there, runs up, tucked up and away, and then coming up over here where the other signal was in the first place. I still got to make the final connectors here. It's going to be the open barrel pin connectors to go into this, back into this connector, and then that's going to go into that. And then, like I said earlier, with the violet and the tan brown wire, just going to make it super easy to know kind of where it goes into the connector, because you got your violet and brown connector here as well, so it's just going to line up nice. I don't know if I love the turn signals, but it's for a good cause, because now I get to do what all that work was actually for and put on the bags. So it comes with the bags, the instructions, a couple stickers, thank you. You have two 3.5-inch bolts, two 3.25-inch bolts. They're calling these grooved docking points. This is what the bag's actually going to mount to and lock onto this, where this groove is. Get two 1-inch spacers, two 1/4-inch spacers, and 4 of the nuts. So you got the 3.5-inch bolts. You're going to use a 1/4-inch spacer. It's going to look something like that. You're going to slide the docked end in, 1/4-inch spacer, and that's going to go into the so 3.25 is going to go into the rear, 3.5 into the front. So this is 3.5 into the front with the short, and then you're going to use the long spacers for the rear with the 3.25. Just a note too, to use some blue Loctite. Here's the studs. Again, and the turn signal's just clear. Pretty easy install. Just enough. So now I'm going to get the wheel back on and get it outside. One hand assembly, disassembly, that's nice. There it is. Nice and narrow when they're tucked in. The bracket worked out fine. Like I said, I got these on J&P. It's a turn signal relocation kit. Not a bad install, just a little tedious, but totally worth it. Clears the bags just enough, so it actually looks nice with the bags on it, and won't have to worry about inspections. And yeah, finally have some bags on this thing, so it's about time.